What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Um, Many of you all don't know this, but I love watching reaction content. I'm a media junkie, so I've always been into like interviews and podcasts, etc. since I was a young kid. When the reaction channels became a thing, I normally didn't I wasn't into it until I started like listening to dope like albums, and I wanted to hear people review these albums, and I wanted to see if they had the same opinion of these albums and songs that I had, right? And so then it spilled over into reaction content to like TV shows and movies. And one of my favorite movies I love seeing people react to is Training Day. It's a movie starring Ethan Hawke and of course the all-time great Denzel Washington. That is one of the most brilliant movies I've ever seen in my life, and I've covered that movie on my channel before years ago. Like I'm talking about 4 years ago, probably, right? 3, 4 years ago. The reason why that movie works so well is because Denzel Washington is the lead. Why do I say that? We're used to as movie watchers and the audience, we're used to Denzel Washington playing good guy roles, him being the hero. We look for him to have redeeming qualities even when he has a little bit of a-hole in him, right? And so when we're watching Alonzo Harris, when we're watching him be this cop and him taking along this rookie on a first day, taking him along for the ride, we watch him be manipulative, degrading. We watch him be condescending. We watch him be narcissistic. But we're still hoping for him to be good, for him to have redeeming qualities. We're hoping for him to be a heroic figure because, I mean, it's Denzel Washington playing his character, right? And so we don't want to believe he's a bad guy. Even when he obviously does bad things, we're still rooting for him and say, oh my God, he still got to be good. We trying to find reasons to rationalize the terrible things that he's doing to people, not just Ethan Hawke, but other people around him, right? When it's been obvious from the gate he's not a good person. But we just feel like Denzel can't be the bad guy. He can't be the bad guy. And also, like, Denzel is the reason why it works because he's so charming, he's so charismatic that you don't want to believe, again, that this is the villain of the movie. You want to believe that there is a bigger motive. Maybe he's going undercover. Maybe it's something. You don't want to believe this is just a really bad guy who is the worst of the worst, right? And so it works so good because I promise y'all, as a kid, I didn't when I watched this movie, and again, this movie came out when I was super young, and I remember watching it again as like when I was like 12 to kind of get a clearer picture again when I started gaining knowledge and stuff like that. And you still don't want to believe Denzel, like you don't want to believe the signs were there. You want to believe something else until the final showdown with him and Jake, when he leaves Jake to get killed in the bathtub, right, to get unalived. You Before then, you still wanted to believe, man, it's some good in him. It's some good in him. No, it never was. He planned out the whole day, to basically pay off his debt and to frame Jake if Jake ever wanted to snitch on his corrupt dealings. He framed Jake. He made him he made him smoke the weed laced with PCP, so that if you tell on me, hey, they gonna run your blood and they gonna see you were smoking narcotics. He put a gun to his head and made him do it, right? And tried to make it seem like a good narcotics officer has to be able to be familiar with the narcotics and so on and so forth. And these are things that me as a kid, I believed. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's for a reason. Maybe it's for a reason. You know what I mean? He's stealing money from people with fake warrants. He's not arresting guys who are trying to assault a young lady. Even in watching the movie again, like this man made it seem like he got that weed off of them young boys, them young white kids in that car, when really that was weed he already had on him. He already had that on him, prepared to make Jake smoke the weed to get him laced with PCP. So okay, if you want to turn on me, hey, I got stuff on you that could get you in trouble with the department. You smoking PCP laced weed on your first day of work, right? Trying to make Jake shoot Roger, trying to make him shoot him. so that he can say, oh, you the one that shot him. I didn't do it. Jake didn't do it. Denzel shot him because Jake refused to do it. You know what I mean? It was just how manipulative and how cunning he was. But again, Denzel playing this character helped the audience really believe that Alonzo Harris has some redeeming qualities in him at some point. You know what I mean? The way this movie is written is phenomenal. The way things play out. Like, because again, every time I watch the movie, I see new details in it. You see new details in it. You see, oh, he did this for that reason. He did this for that reason. He did this for that reason. Like paying the police officers for the warrant, the crooked cops to pay for, I believe he did, pay the police officers. He meet with the wise men, he calls them, to pay them for a fake warrant, to pay them for a warrant to go in Roger's house, right? To go and get the money from Roger. Paid them for that warrant so he can go in and do that. So when they kill him, it could be like, hey, we had a warrant to do this. We had a warrant to search him. He was dealing with some stuff illegally. So we confiscated. We came in here to come apprehend him or whatever. You know, he tried to develop a plan for every single thing. And I'm thinking, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, in the movie, was he not going to pay Dr. Dre's character and the other individuals with him? Yo, this movie is just so crazy. You start saying like, yo, Denzel as a bad guy works very well. I don't know, black folks ain't like that he had to be a crooked dude to win an Oscar, because he should have got an Oscar for Malcolm X. Yo, that depiction is crazy. That's really why my name is Malcolm. The movie came out in 92. I was born in 93. You know what I mean? So, and my father saw that movie. He had a close friend of his that was named Malcolm as a kid, but then seeing that movie, definitely gave him, that movie right there gave him the goal to say, that's what I'm gonna name my son. That's what my father named me. You know, but yeah, man, Training Day is one of the most brilliant films. Shout out to Antoine Fuqua. Hold on. He directed the movie. Yeah, he directed Training Day. And again, Ethan Hawke does an extremely great job playing a rookie cop who is under a lot of peer pressure and influence and trying to figure out where the line is and how far he shouldn't go. Excuse me, how far he should, when to push back, when not to push back. Denzel's manipulation works very, very well. He puts him in these crazy situations to make him feel like, hey, I'm telling you these things because these are things that you could face. These are things that you could be that you could be faced with, that could come back to that could put you in a dangerous situation. You got to know how to handle these certain situations. He put him in, so he's making it seem like he's giving him lessons. But in all, he's setting up his plan to pay back the Russians that $1 million that he owes them for killing one of the Russians. And also at the same time, he's framing Jake just in case Jake want to get out of line and tell on him. You know, so yeah, man, it's if you haven't seen Training Day, I recommend that you watch it, man. But again, it works so well because the audience does not want to believe that Denzel Washington is a bad guy. This is my mama do not like this movie because Denzel is bad in the film. Like, a lot of black women have a hard time seeing the love of their life, Denzel Washington, be a bad guy. They don't want to believe it. No, he can't be bad. He can't be bad. Yes, he can. And he was the worst of the worst. He was narcissistic, manipulative, cunning. He was power hungry. He was, he had this, narcissistic, of course, it goes along with this. He had this belief that nobody and nothing can stop him, that he was above everything. You can see it in the way where he walks in the middle of the street, in the middle of traffic, and just making the car stop. He doesn't think he thinks he's above everything. Even when he points the gun at Jake's head, he stops the car in the middle of traffic and points a gun at Jake's head to make him smoke the PCP lace weed. Even when he goes into the jungles, that's where Eva Mendes, you know, his side chick that he has a baby with, this is where she lives. He goes and he thinks that they're going to do whatever he says because he's the police and he has power and rank over him. He believes so much in himself and he believes he that man so much that they were going to kill Jake for him, thinking that they weren't going to turn on him because I'm the police, I'm Alonzo, I'm that dude around here. Y'all do what I say, or you gonna get locked up. You gonna be in Pelican Bay. He just, everything about him oozes narcissistic, sociopath, all the way across the board. So it's a brilliant watch. If you haven't seen it, check out Training Day. Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm out. Peace.